All right, James, here's my puzzle. I sent it to you, but the rook just moved from e6 to c6. I'm playing black. First thing I'm seeing is a vulnerable pawn on f2. I could take with my bishop, forking the king and the rook, but that's probably not it. I think from pattern recognition, if I take with the rook, it's going to have a better discovered attack possibility. However, maybe not in this case, because if rook takes f2, he can just take out my bishop with queen takes c5. So I think in this case, that's not going to be the case. I'll probably need to take with the bishop first. So bishop takes f2 with check, and he's probably going to want to go king to h1, because if he were to go king to f1, then I would go bishop to... I could take the rook on e1 with check, discover check from my rook on f8, but probably not that square. I'd probably go bishop to maybe g3 with check, and from there he would probably go either back to g1, or maybe even... He probably doesn't want to go to e2, because then I have my rook on a8 that could go to e8, and that gets really nasty for him. So I almost hope for him to go to king e2. So let's just consider that line. Bishop takes f2, check, king to f1, bishop to g3, check, king to e2, rook on a8 to e8, check. Now he's running. Now he'd run to, say, d2 or d3, in which case I would have a nice pin on his queen. So I would go rook e8 to d8, pinning his queen to his king that would be on either d3 or d2 in that line. And then he would take my queen, probably, like, you take my queen, I take your queen scenario. So then he'd probably go rook takes c7, I go rook d8 takes d5 with check. Oh, this is kind of cool. And then if, let's say, no matter which square, if he was on d3 or d2, let's say he moves up the board to like c4, or c4, then rook takes g5, winning the knight too. And then my rook would actually be simultaneously defending my bishop on c5. So that's kind of a cool line. Wow, that's deep. What is that? One. I'm going to count it out. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6. That's a 6-move sequence that we just calculated. I think that's solid. So that is if his king goes to f1. Now, what if, going all the way back to the beginning, what if bishop takes f2 check, he doesn't even go to f1, and they'll say he goes to h1, which I would probably do intuitively, and probably most players would. So bishop takes f2 check, king h1. Maybe bishop takes the rook on e1, and if he takes my queen, we don't care, because so rook takes c7, then I have rook to f1, checkmate, back rank. So I think it's that bishop take. So I think it's bishop takes f2, check. I'm going to go with it, because there's only 2 squares he can go. He has to go either f1 or he has to go to h1. Boom. Oh, he went to h1. Now I'm going to take... We're going to sack our queen, essentially, because we don't care if he takes our queen here, because we have a back rank mate. That was it. Now his queen goes to d3, covering the f1 square. So now he's just trying not to get back ranked. And now his rook, which was attacking my queen, which was defended by his queen prior to this, is now hanging. So now I'm going to take his free rook. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, I'm glad I didn't move it. He's also attacking. So not only is he defending the f1 square with his queen, he's also attacking or threatening checkmate on h7 because his knight supports the queen. So we got to be real careful here. I cannot take the rook. What do we do? Because my queen is on pre too. I'm wondering if there's any interference tactic here. My queen, I can't intercede. My queen is being attacked by the rook. I can't move my queen to interfere with his queen's line of sight. So I wonder if we sack something here. Because I gotta deflect his queen. So what if I just go rook tonight? Rook f1 check doesn't work because then queen f1, yeah, we deflected it, but then queen takes c6, which, he wins my rook, I win his rook, but then he also wins my bishop. Because he would also get... Well, maybe that's necessary. Maybe I have to just lose my bishop on e1 because otherwise I'm going to get checkmated on h7. There's no way to defend that. If I can't push g6 because his rook's just going to take my queen on c7. So it's too slow. I think I have to, and no sack seems to work except for me I have to sack my rook on f1. Queen takes f1. Queen takes rook on c6. Queen takes e1 bishop. And we're up material count. So, and I deflected his queen away from checkmating me on h7. So that might be the answer. I'm gonna go with that. Yep, looks like that's it. Oh, now it's still not over. Now he goes queen. He didn't take my bishop. He goes queen to f5 now, renewing the checkmate threat on h7. But now I can interpose my queen with an interference tactic on g6. That's what I'm thinking. And then if he takes, obviously I just take back. h7 takes g6. Let's see, back rank is covered by my rook on a8. But then he can try an in-between move. So if I go queen to g6, he can go knight to f7 check. Does that do anything? So then I go king to g8. And then he can try, maybe queen to d5, which would have kind of a discovered attack on the diagonal, which would be on my king. It would be on g8, and my rook on a8. So kind of a double attack. Could I do anything about that? I think in that case, maybe I go rook to f8. So let's start over on that line. Queen to g6. Knight to f7 check. King g8. Queen to d5. Rook to f8. And let's say he tries to do discovered check on me with knight h6, discovered check. Then I would move king to h8. And then he tries that queen sack out of that pattern recognition that we get in the corner with the bishop or with the king when it's in the corner, and the knight that would be on h6 in this case. Queen to say g8 check. Rook takes g8. And then knight to f7 smothered mate does not work because my queen covers that square still. So I think we're okay with this queen interference move to g6. I'm just going to do it. Okay, so he does. Yeah, that's so he did move. So I went queen g6, and he went knight to f7 check, which I just thought that he might do. Now I'm going to go king to g8, and that's the end of the problem. Wow, that's a 2200 rated problem with only a 40.1% pass rate. Wow, it took me 10 minutes and 11 seconds to finish.